Dylan Goforth, a journalist with the online news publication The Frontier, broke the exclusive story that led to Doerflinger's resignation. I talked with Dylan earlier about the allegations. Dylan, what are the allegations you found out about Doerflinger and his ex-wife?
Yeah, so in 2012, there were two separate incidents at their house in Tulsa that were domestic violence related. There's one on September 3rd and one on September 8th. The September 8th domestic violence incident, there was an argument between him and his wife, and what she told police who arrived that night was that they had an argument. He had began to choke her. She broke away and called 911, and he took the phone and ended the call, and then she said forced her into another room and then choked her again.
So Dylan, what are the allegations that you found out about Doerflinger and his ex-wife?
From the police report, it said that she came out of the house and she was at first very thankful the police arrived, and she was very emotional, and she told them what happened. And she actually filled out a victim statement that it was typically necessary in domestic violence cases, but then later said that she wanted to retract it because her husband had just been placed in charge of DHS. He was the interim director of the Department of Human Services, and she said that he would lose his job. And so she didn't want to press charges because of that. And actually it went to a family violence detective and then was immediately suspended by his supervisor.
And that was probably because she didn't want to pursue.
Right, there's different elements that police say that they'll need to pursue a case, and it will be like a cooperating victim. If they don't have that, if there's visible marks, they can pursue a case. Those are rare in strangulation cases to show up immediately, and then they have a third-party witness, and in this case, they had none of those if she wasn't going to cooperate.
What does Doerflinger's ex-wife say now?
She issued a statement after the story came out saying basically that she characterized them as a bad night or bad nights, and that they had gotten past it and were working together at this point. And that she said, that she wanted the focus to be on families currently facing domestic violence issues and not so much on their past, which, I understand. It's happened 5 years ago.
So this happened 5 years ago. Why are we just hearing about it now?
Since he was not arrested or charged, there's no mugshot, you can't go online and look up the documents or see that there was an arrest. And so it just never came out. And there were these, rumors had been floating around for a while, and there obviously were these records that showed what happened, and they had just never been publicly released if someone asked for them, or they just had never come out. And so it just sat there.
So after, you also reached out to Mr. Doerflinger before this story. Did he ever respond, and then how did it transpire that it went to the health department?
No, he had never responded. He has a secretary of finance. He was a secretary of finance at the time. He was also the interim head of the health department. So we tried through the governor's office, we tried through the health department to get word to him to say, hey, this story's coming. We do want to respond. We never heard back from him. It ended on Tuesday. There was a Board of Health, the monthly Board of Health meeting. The story came out the day before. And they voted, they went into executive session and voted to discuss his employment. And then I guess in that meeting, it was about 2 hours of executive session. He resigned and then left and went to the Capitol and resigned from other positions.
Dylan Goforth with The Frontier, thanks for being here.
Thank you.